Welcome to course Basic Electronics. In this chapter, I would like to introduce you the configuration Bjt with emitter commands and the equivalent circuit. In general, you can see here. And now, in the last lesson, I give you information about we have the three kind. This year, the small signal amplifier. This year, working in the frequency response. Small signal circuit working in the middle frequency response. It's meaning in the red color area. In the red color, okay. In the last some lesson, I introduced about you in general. This year amplifier system. This is meaning we have the electronic circuit, and in the right side this is output, and in the left side it is input. This is input related the AC signal and AC energy, and we have the three kinds of the Bjt and FET amplifier. The first kind, this is a small signal amplifier. And the second, this is the larger, small and larger. What kind of difference between them? Different in the small signal signal, the system working in the area, in the both plotter, in the response frequency. They working in the area midden frequency response. We have the small signal amplifier, and this amplifier related with us. And larger signal amplifier, this is meaning we are counting total several the band pass filter. This year form the F0 to the height high gas. This is larger. We have the system working in the low pass filter, and we have the low pass filter and high pass filter and middle filter. It's meaning they working the whole band pass filter. What is the whole band pass filter? This is the from the F0 to the F high gas. This is band width. This band width is the equal, and this is a signification for every signal amplifier. And finally, we have the power amplifier. In our lesson, we have a small signal Bjt amplifier. And today, I would like to introduce you three kinds of the Bjt equivalent circuits. This circuit related to us. And here I suggest you the circuit in base command, C command. In the last, I introduced you about the E command. And please write down for you today Bjt AC analysis. And you can write down total, the title today, this is a small signal Bjt amplifier. This is equivalent circuit. And this is the exercise. Please write down for you and draw for you. For the network of Fick, please write down In using SEN parent, we have 3 questions in the midterm test and in every test. This year, the main part of our course, basic electronics, we have the one exercise, have 3 questions. The first question related to DC bias. Determine Q point and DCL. This is DC lot line. The second question, draw equivalent circuits and determine AC parameters. Wow, this is the related our today's lesson. And the first question, this is the drawing the output waveform at Q point. And in the last question, I introduced you to answering for 2 questions. The first question about DCLL. This is related the red color. And this is related the DCLL. Q point, you should be to determine Q point and DCLL. And of course, very familiar, and you should be to remember on the output volt ampere characteristic, we have very specific, the red line is here DCLL, and Q point belong this line, lot line. And of course, this is the answer for the first question. And you should be to remind very important 2 points in this lot line. First point, this year, we have the value. This is a supply power supply. And in this, in general, the second point of this lot line, this is a value VCC divide RC and RE. RC and RE. And you should be to learn by heart. And you should be to solve this question very quickly. It takes 5 minutes. Because you should be to write down for your textbook. And you should be to done homework. This is very important. And in the last lesson, I introduced you about the ACLL, AC lot light. You can see the form of the lot light related of the alternating energy. This is a green color. This is a green color direction. And you should be reminded. This is DCLL. We have the equation on the right below. You can see here. And ACLL, I have ready for you. And you should be to, please, you should be to again write down for you. This is a part 2 equation on the right in my slide. Please. This equation, I don't know you see or not. This equation, this is a DCLL, you can write down. the function have two parameters. That is the collector current and voltage output voltage VCE, right? And the second function this year, AC rod light, ACLL, we have two parameters too. This is the present, the collector current. Present is meaning depend on the time, right? And next, you can see, and next, I can. And next, you can see this here the first, the first parameter, and the second parameter. This here VCE. I call it. This is the present, the real value of the voltage output. It is the real value including DC energy and AC energy, right? And we have two equations. We have two equations related DC rod light and AC rod light. This is the main answering for first question. And if you write down this equation, you can, if you write down this equation, you can have, you can have the some point in your assessment, right? And you, in the last, I introduced you about this circuit, and you have already this circuit, the output, volt ampere characteristic. We have the three kinds of the waveform. The first kind, this here, green color light. The green color light, the first time you have the green color light, and the second time you have the orange light. This is orange signal. And the last, with the signal have got a distortion. This here we have the blue form, yes. And its meaning, in general, we have this circuit on the left. You can see this circuit. I will, we have this circuit, right? And you have the waveform output. This here waveform output for current. And waveform output for voltage. We have the answering. In this one slide, you have ready to function. The first function, this is the DCLL. This is equation. Please write down on only one slide. And the second function, you have the ACLL, AC rod light. In general, we have ready answering for two questions, right? The first question related to the AC, DC key point, and DCLL, DC rod light. And the third question about the form waveform, output waveform, and the AC rod light. And this is very, very easy for you. And we have two different, the output waveform at Q max swing and the output waveform of frequency E distorted. Distorted is the meaning. Distorted, this is a meaning of the position. Is a meaning. This year have we should be to choose the position of the Q point for amplification without distortion. And now we have some specific information. And I hope if we have Q max swing, this year is meaning the Q point, red color. Q point this Q point here in the figure on the left, you have the Q point here in the middle of the DC rod light. And if distortion of the wave put out form, we have two distortion for two sides for full wave form input. We have two sides and output signal. The output signal, of course, is a distortion and not sinusoid. You can see in the green light here and here the same. And distortion have two sides. And you can see here in the right graphic, this is a Q point, not in the middle, DCL. That's why when the distortion only in the distortion may be only in the one side, one halfway. And you can see this torsion here and similar. You can see the black color and the green color, black and green. You can see the black color, the waveform, to have the distortion in the one half of the, here, in the one half of the waveform output. In general, this is form. You don't worry about, oh, this is difficult. But when you reading the evaluation, you only choose one light, one input signal. This is a form drawing the output waveform at Q point and drawing the waveform output at Q point with distortion. This is a second point. And this is max swing output waveform. Only on multi choice for one or three. One or for three the question. That's why don't worry. And if you write down, you draw this form, you can have got the some point very important. The first question might be 2 points at evaluation, and the last first answering, this is 1. We have general 3 points at the testing. It's very important. If you don't answer the first question related about DC rod line, related about key point, is not good. because this is the main important of our course. That's why you should be to do exercise for first question or for third question. And today's this year we can center us about Bjt and fast equivalent circuit of the small signal amplifier. And for easily, I would like to introduce very, very simple. For example, given this circuit, of course, the last question I introduced you a little bit about this, right? And now you write down for me. This is the equivalent circuit with common emitter common configuration. Please write down for you. Given the network, given the network in the figure, you can see very easy, right? And first question, I don't repeat up this. And the second question, this is equivalent circuit for Bjt amplifier with the emitter configuration. Please, you write down for you. And given this circuit, and you know, as you know, we have the three kinds of configuration. And we have three kinds of configuration of Bjt, and the same three kinds for FET. And if these are three kinds, the first kind, this is base common. And the second, this is the E common. This is emitter common emitter. And this is collector common. You should be to remember. Very easy, don't worry. And if back for easy, I remember you. If you see the position of transistor like that, you can see, you can divide for two parts. First, on the right, in the first, on the tie in the first, on the right side, right arms, right hand. This here you can see the collector. This here output. Yes, and of course you should be to know about the current output here and the current the voltage output. And you can see on the left, you can see here emitter. Wow, this is input. This is back, right? You can see if this out, this in, we have three out and in. Of course, the order. This is a general point. This is a base configuration, base common or common base, because the output and input have voltage have the one general point. This is a B base. We are called it, this is a BC. BC, we have the volt ampere characteristic output. You should be to remember this year to learn by heart. Các em phải thuộc lòng cái điều này. And when you see the position of this, you see the position of the When you see the position of the transistor here, you can see the transistor here, is meaning output, is meaning the output on the output this is on the collector. You can once again back for memory. What is the meaning back? Back, this is a three terminal of the Bjt transistor. Three polar là ba cực của transistor các em. Cô nhắc lại. And if you can see the output here, output. Wow. And on the left, you can see base input. And of course, in conclusion, you should need to know about this here emitter command. Emitter command, this is a configuration specific. And the same if you can see the last configuration with rows, the box, you can see the output E. The output E. I draw here. This is a back. The output E. This is your output. And you can see on the right side, the left side, you can see this here input, out in. And of course, the general point, this here collector, right? And very easy, even everything you have, if the base command, we have the equivalent circuit. The equivalent circuit. This circuit have three elements. You can change the form of a transistor to come to the first four base. Come on, three elements. And two position, two configuration, emitter command and collector command. You can have only one equivalent circuit. This is in the blue box in the below. In this side, you can see we can use a three parameter. Don't worry, what is meaning parameter? This is HF. This is HO. This is the scientists are they giving us the parameter. This is hybrid. And this hybrid given for us. And if base command, we can put here base, and base. To learn by heart, don't worry. This is E command and C command. You can have H, E, E. Only E. H, F, E. E command and H, O, E. Wow, very easy, right? To learn by heart. And you know, H, E, they given us. They call already. Beta we have already given, right? And beta, this year, beta, this year, H, F, E. And 26 millivolt for I. The current of the emitter Q. You will answer me. Where is the value? This here, the first question when we answer the position of key point, right? Key point, we usually have the current of the collector and the output. We see a Q. And this, in our case, we have the value of the EAQ. That's why the HEE. This E, you can see why they call it about this, the parameter. This is the input resistance. You can see, right? And the EC and CC, we have the output impedance. And of course, we have the one shock, depend on the current input. And now you can see similar for two kinds of the configuration of Bjt. This is emitter and collector. We are transform the transistor to become the circuit, equivalent circuit. And in this circuit have three elements. Cô muốn giải thích cái này. Tức là sơ đồ tương đương tín hiệu nhỏ của transistor bất kỳ Bjt hoặc phép. Tức là ta biến đổi ba cái điểm của transistor đấy thành một mạch điện. Trong mạch điện đó có 3 phần tử. Phần tử thứ nhất, người ta gọi là điện trở ngõ vào các em. Bây giờ cô vẫn để cô để 3 cái cực này, cực nền này, rồi cực phía bên này là cực thu này, và cô để ở phía dưới này là cực phát. Có đúng không? Và như vậy á, kể cả mạch C chung, mạch E chung thì chúng ta giữ vị trí các cực tương đối, B bên đây, B bên trái, C bên phải và cực E ở phía dưới, tại vì hai mạch này sử dụng chung một sơ đồ tương đương. Và cái sơ đồ tương đương đấy nó là cái gì vậy? Thực ra các em thấy rất dễ, nó có 3 phần tử. Điện trở ngõ vào, điện trở ngõ ra. Điện trở ngõ vào nó được ký hiệu là HI. HI là input, nó là một cái thông số của parameter. Thì bây giờ cô viết là các em cứ mặc định cái thông số đó được tính bằng công thức là beta 26 mV chia cho EEQ. Và EEQ thì bằng cái gì? EEQ thì bằng ECQ mà câu số 1 chúng ta đã tính rồi. Và HFE là cái gì? HFE là người ta cho ở đây, đấy là hệ số khuếch đại dòng. Và cái dòng này, như vậy một transistor được biến thành một mạch điện có 3 phần tử. Phần tử thứ nhất là input resistance and the second output resistance. This output HOE. This year we have the unit measurement this year, ohm minus. Yes, we have like that quite 1 divide HOE. This year we have the ohm. We have the unit ohm, unit measurement. We have the ohm, and here this shock depend on the current, input current for this circuit, and this shock is equal. This is HFE multiply IB. This is the this is the independent shocks. inside transistor. But you don't worry because this is given, and on the transistor can make the equivalent circuit like that. In general, we should be to remember only two circuit equivalent. The first circuit for basic command, and the second circuit for E command and C command. And we have ready HEB, HFB, and HOB. We have HEE and HFE and HOE. These are given parameters for equivalent circuit of Bjt. And you can see, cô chưa hiểu là tại sao thế, thì cô thấy cái màn hình của cô nó thu lại. Tất nhiên là các em sẽ thấy là bình thường. Thế nhưng mà cô thì không hiểu tại sao cái màn hình của cô nó lại bị như vậy. Các em viết cho cô cho mạch điện như hình. Rồi bây giờ mới được nào. Các em viết cho cô là cho mạch điện như hình.
Hình nào vậy cô?
Vẽ hình nào cho nó nhanh. Em vẽ cho cô một cái hình đi. Please. Cho mạch điện như hình. Given the figure. This is the circuit with the voltage divider DC biasing configuration. In general. Question. Draw equivalent circuit. Equivalent circuit and determine the AC parameters given. Some information you can write down for you. And if they given this here RE, sometimes they given RE, and sometimes we have beta. And of course, this you can light beta ready, right? RA, right? They are collected sometimes and given for you that. And this a circuit. And for answering or for solution, this is the second question. We step by step. The first, you should be to know about the red color. Draw with me, okay? Red color, this is very important. This is DC biasing. And the red color, we have the DC power supply. This is a trick with the red color. I draw here. This here. If you go to the lesson on the time, you should be to prepare at least 2 color pen. 2, but it's usually 3. This is green. No. This is blue. This is red. And sometimes this is purple. Màu tím. Phải đi học 3 cây bút các em. Để các em vẽ để các em mới hiểu bài. Thế thì cho mạch như hình này, trước tiên câu số 1 cô không nhắc lại là liên quan tới cái màu đỏ, và màu đỏ nó không nằm nó không nằm ở phía ngoài của các tụ. And relating about AC energy, you can see here 3 capacitance. One collect the bypass capacitance. And you see the 3 capacitance. Capacitor 3, 2 connecting capacitor, and 1 bypass. One against tụ nối tắt. And if you see this circuit, of course, you should be to know about what kind of circuit this is. Emitter common, What's the emitter command? Emitter command is meaning. We have the output voltage characteristic, right? This is output current. This is output voltage. You should be on the time to learn by heart. And you have the one DC red light, VCC, and VCC divide RC plus RE all the time. You should be to remember of this. And Q point here. And Q point, you know about this here, IBQ. And this here, we have the Q point. This is first question related to the red color. And the second color, this is equivalent circuit of the small signal. We have the way to go to from the left to the right, from the input to the output, where the circuits have ready bias it, right? Ready bias. And this color, green color, to go to the first, this point, they have three ways. The first way to resistance to come back, closed loop. And the second, this is very important, the way of the